Hello and welcome to Popcorn and Plot Holes, where each week we watch terrible movies and try to make sense of them.
Wow. Somebody's jaded.
How dare you summarize our lives week by week?
I mean, to be fair, the movies we watched preceding this one were all good. What did we watch last week?
We watched Madam Web one
Morbius.
time.
It's really movies to start with M, I
This is
think,
what
is
it
the
does
problem.
to a man.
Yes.
Yeah,
The problem is we watched 3 good movies in a row, and now we watched this, and you're spoiled.
I have expectations. Speaking of expectations, you should lower them, listeners, because with me, as always, I have Luciano.
Oh, wow, I see. When the expectations are low, I go first. Hell, fuck you.
It's not like they're going to get rise as they go to Spencer.
I think they're skyrocketing right now to an all-time high before coming to a crashing low coming into our other
Listen,
host, Chris.
as long as you lower your expectations, someone's going to get a date behind door number 1, 2, 3, or 4. Don't go through door number 4. Her cat's name is Fifi.
Don't do it.
How was I the
See?
low? Fuck all of you.
Listen, you interpreted yourself being the lowest, which by the interpretation does make you the lowest because you've accepted it on yourself.
Don't talk about yourself that way.
No. I interpreted it like that because that's what you said. It's how conversations work.
No, Luciano, I agree.
Nobody asked you.
Someone had to go first, but I did not imply that everybody after him
Yes,
would
you
be
did.
better.
Yes,
No, I
you
didn't.
did.
So
No, I didn't.
Did Luciano activate your trap card
You
unknowingly?
said it. You said it.
Listen, this is your second language. Don't fucking argue with me. Get out of here. Speaking of getting out of here, we watched Abigail. Is it 2023 or 2024?
I think it's 4.
Yeah.
2024
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant vehicle.
Elon Musk.
2024 vehicle.
Will represent our Canadian brother Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
his vehicle.
Yes.
We'll talk more about him later. Let's be positive, if at all possible, when we talk about this movie. Let's see. Spencer, what's your favorite part of this movie?
Hey. I liked personally a lot the exploding of people. I just love when people explode. I'm a sucker for a good exploding person, and this movie had it in spades, and it did it well. They were satisfying explosions of people, and they looked like water balloons
Yes.
bursting.
Yeah, they did.
And
Spencer,
That was fun.
what is your top 3 exploding persons in a movie? Maybe top 1 if this takes too long.
I mean, there's that. No, I mean, there's that one that everyone uses as a GIF, and I always forget what it's originally from. With the guy's head exploding and going inside out.
Yeah.
That is a solid one,
from
yes.
Scanners.
Yeah.
That's a good one. You know what? I'm going to do a shout out since we're on vampire themes of Norman Reedus exploding in Blade 2.
Oh, yeah.
Good call. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Ooh, give me something.
Well,
I feel
Frank
like
exploding in this
there's
one
definitely
is
some-
a pretty good one.
yeah,
Why
we
not?
can't use this movie. He said other.
Since when do you follow rules?
it
Especially
could be.
Matt's rules.
Wow. Fair.
You know what? This is a little off the norm, but the T-1000 exploding when he's made of ice, that was pretty cool. It's a little different. It's not really gory
3 and we
explosion,
should
but
move
it
on.
looks great.
No, it's not related.
Anyone else?
Mortal
I was curious if
Kombat.
anyone else
I think
came up
Mortal
with any.
Kombat
Okay.
had an explosion. I think it was an ice explosion. Sub-Zero.
Oh, yeah.
Ice
Yeah,
exploded somebody.
it did. Yeah.
Like in the new Mortal Kombat or the original?
I feel like the answer is both.
That's probably correct. We're moving on. Luciano, what did you like about this movie?
I liked Peter, Kevin Durant's character. He was just dumb. He knew he was dumb, and he made the best of it, and he made it funny. It's like hilarious. Like the fact that he took that long to understand that his name wasn't actually Peter. It was just a reference to the Rat Pack. It took him half a movie. I was like, fucking this man, what a gem. I really enjoyed his character. So yeah, that's my favorite thing about this movie.
All right, fair.
What did you like
We don't
about
talk about
him?
that.
Hey,
Not yet.
Christopher Lambert, you're not from Quebec.
I am from wherever I
Man,
need to be
can
from.
you
I am
imagine
from-
if
my accent is all
imagine if
whoever
Peter was
pays
played by
everywhere.
Christopher Lambert instead of Kevin Durant? That would have been something.
All right, Christopher. In this movie, you're playing a Swede. Okay, I will play a Swedish man. Hello, I am from Sweden.
No, he'll do the look. Hello, I am from Sweden. That's it. That would be the extent of his accent.
I also don't think he would go that far.
Too much method acting for
Way too
Christopher
much acting in
Lambert.
You're playing
Some
an
respect on
18th
Christopher
century
Lambert's name. He's a
British
national
man.
I am
treasure.
British.
Hello.
Yes.
In Christopher Lambert's defense, Sean Connery really didn't try too hard with his Spanish
See?
accent either.
To play an Egyptian man
Yeah.
named Ramirez
Juan Villalobos Ramirez
from Egypt.
from Egypt. Oh,
that is
every
true.
man.
The Everyman. Chris,
Yes,
what
sir.
did you like about Abigail?
Abigail, the movie Abigail for me was a really great vehicle for quick logic. So in the beginning, after they get they pull off the heist and they go to the new house, and then Frank finds out that it's Lazar, that it's Lazar's kid that they took. He's like, no, I'm done. That was the quickest bailout I've ever seen, and I was like, this is great. Yes, get the fuck out.
Yeah,
This man
It's
is
really-
a survivor.
it really sold how scary
Yes.
Lazar is without
Yeah.
even showing
Yes.
a character. Like that, they were
He's
that
like, no.
quickly. Like even when he tells everyone else, they're all like, "Oh yeah, we're definitely all out." No one's like
Yeah.
arguing to stay.
And then the
really
fucking
until
plot
they really can't get out.
did a terrible piss ass job, piss coming from its ass, piss ass job, reeling them back in for $7 million a piece.
Hey, man.
Eh.
Hey, we haven't gone through everybody's what they liked.
Well, I thought this.
Yeah,
I
there's
am positive,
parts, brother.
positively angry.
I don't think pissing is anybody's positive. Maybe a
It's a
75-year-old.
Sick of
It
your
is a
negative
release of
attitude.
the anger.
Anyways, we'll get back to
But thank you for the
anger
question.
and your hurt, Chris. We'll come back to it.
Thank
Don't
you.
worry.
I'm very hurt.
I think the best part of this movie, I really enjoyed the actor who played Abigail. She did a good job of especially the beginning, right, where you don't know, if you didn't watch the trailer or read anything about this
That's
movie,
the thing.
which is you kind of have to spoil it, otherwise no one will watch it. But she does a good job sucking everybody into the idea that she's just an 8-year-old girl or whatever age they say she is at.
12.
Yeah,
Until they
she's
realize she's playing them. I mean, whatever. Kids.
Yeah.
Until she they figure out that she's playing them and manipulating them. I thought it was really well done to bring you into the movie and then heighten how scared everybody got once they knew they had pissed off Matthew Good's character and
Lazar.
Lazar, thank you.
Dracula.
We can't use that word
Yeah, I can't use that word.
for reasons,
Why
even
not?
though I'm pretty sure it's in the public domain. But
You should do what Castlevania did and call him Alucard.
Hey.
That'd
That
be even
was
more
really
of a
hard to figure
copyright
out.
problem.
so
Just
Did you
throw
just
the letters
figure it out?
in like a jumble
I knew, but
Okay.
and call them
Okay.
saying
Ladruka.
La Ruca.
Aluminium.
I'm Ladruka. I'm Dracula's Latino cousin.
Juan Villalobos Alumica.
I come from Quebec.
Can't you tell?
Hey, I come from Romania.
But on your point, Matt, because I didn't know much about this movie, and I all I heard is don't watch the trailer.
Good advice.
So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna watch the trailer, but I did know one thing, and the one thing I knew was that it was somehow vampire related, and even if you just know that, you immediately can put it together. I mean, the movie's called Abigail,
Yeah.
so you're like, oh, this is a vampire movie. She's the title character. She's going to be a vampire, and that kind of does take away from, because I can imagine if this movie just like when we're kids and you just see a movie on TV and you're like, oh, it's kind of like I had that experience with From Dusk Till Dawn when the whole first act is like almost like a Quentin Tarantino crime movie, and I saw it just on TV and I was like, oh, this is that's Quentin Tarantino. Is this one of his movies I've never heard of? And then after the first act, you're like, what the fuck? And that I could see that being the case in this movie if you knew nothing.
It's so hard, right? Because you need to give people a reason to come to the theater, and if you don't if you don't tell them like there's a vampire in it or what the high level story is, like it's too generic to know.
Yeah.
Like, is it a horror film? Is it a drama? So it.
Yeah. How do you even make a trailer?
Yeah.
Like if it of just
As
like
long as you don't go
first-
full Terminator Genesis, you're probably okay.
It was close though, because it
show John Connor being a robot.
in the first like 2 seconds of the fucking trailer too. Yeah.
Terrible.
They did this not to that extent, but the trailer throws half of the movie away in terms of surprise, right? Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't watch it, but also even knowing nothing, just because like I knew that once you figure she's a vampire, you're like, oh, why are they kidnapping this girl? And I'm like, right away, I was like,
She set it
so
up.
they're like
yeah, of course.
the bait, like she set it up
Yeah.
so she could hunt them. So it's like that, and the whole first once they got to that reveal, I was like, okay, now I can like not know what is going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Let's talk about the rest of this movie. There are other things that happen.
I hope.
There is. Hey, Chris, you
Yeah.
talk about this in the pre-show, and I think it's probably the time to talk about it.
Oh,
You know,
Well,
behind the curtains,
behind the
yeah,
curtain,
if we had a if you had
Showing
a
how the
Patreon,
sausage
we
gets
could charge
made.
people $0 to hear this in the pre-show, but we need to have at least
That's a
all
good
four of us,
idea.
actively downloading our podcast. So we're not quite sure if we're doing that. So
and then we can pay to listen to ourselves early.
the fourth person has to pay
Sweet.
for everybody.
Ouroboros.
But Chris, the question I want to talk about, because you bring up a good point, is these criminals who seem like a decent crew that gets put together. They don't seem like okay. There's two that are pretty dumb, but the other ones seem like they know what they're doing. So 4 out of 6 isn't bad. Is it 6 people crew? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a pretty high rate. It's 2/3, 66%, doing great.
I mean, Meatloaf said 2 out of 3
Meatloaf
ain't
said it.
bad.
It's true. The question: how come they didn't know about the house that Abigail was staying in, or who owned the
Yeah.
house, or like what was going on there?
I definitely feel like out of anyone in that crew, if not Frank, right, and I believe that no one else in the crew could have not known, but the one person I believe should have stumbled onto it as during like prep and then like mission go green light is Sammy, aka Jesse, the tech wizard. When she's pulling down, I imagine that there has to be, I mean, like movie magic. Okay, they're in the van. She's in the van with Dean, and she's working on bringing down the security defenses. I thought about it. One, you would have to see who, like, what company the security measures are owned by, and two, when you're doing that work, you're gonna see a name, if not many names, and
Well, I mean,
it just feels too obvious in that sense.
Chris, let me just ask you a question. Do you think Ladruka a fool?
Ladruka? Ah, Ladruka. Well,
also known as Ruka the Lad.
Juan Villalobos Laruca.
Do you think
Why would
him
he be
a
a fool though? This is about
Why would he have? He's planning.
It's
well,
her.
she's
Yeah.
planning it, right?
yeah.
But like, you think that they wouldn't have aliases for all their rentals and properties?
And if so,
They would have to have
to your point, if that's the case, then it would have been negligible. That could have been something that, like, that while she was tearing it down, either when she was tearing it down, she could have seen it, and they could have acknowledged it later on in the second mansion, and then like blah 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 blah. What, Lazar? That's not who I came across. Oh, so it was an alias. They could have done that as well. So I hear you.
I mean, I think he's like in the movie. He's like the biggest crime lord. Right
in
the
insert city here.
City,
Yeah,
he's the biggest crime lord in Cityville, and I think to do that he must have layers upon layers of secrecy and aliases.
I think
that's
I
safe
think
to
the thing
assume.
this movie does well, but if you think about it for a second, you start to unspool like Chris has here. Is you just jump into the mission, right? They don't.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's not a heist. It's not like a lead up to the heist. It's just like, we're heisting right now. This is happening.
Yeah.
And because
Yeah, it's not like we're putting together a team.
Because those reveals later on are more enjoyable in the movie if you learn about them later. But also, we're extrapolating a lot of assumption on how much prep time and what they did to plan for the mission. We know that Lambert did kind of say, don't share any information. And so you wonder how much Lambert shared with them other than show up, each part of the it looked like they just met each other the night of, kind of, right?
No questions.
And also, obviously, this was like an inside, the definition of an inside job, right? So, if they were setting up, he would have set up in a way that she couldn't discover who it was anyway. I agree with you, Chris. Like, they could have mentioned something, right? She could have, Sammy could have said, no, I went in, I looked at who the house was in, whose name was in the house and all that stuff, and it wasn't Lazar or whatever.
Yeah.
This is Keanu Reeves' house.
And are we supposed to kill his puppy? I'm out. And
to walk back my
Keanu
and to walk back my own point, if I follow the rest of your thinking, when they reveal the backstories for each crew member later on, and they talk about, like, when Abigail's in the elevator and she talks about Sammy Jesse, and she rattles off all these different things that she's done. At that point, that rap sheet to me makes it even harder to swallow this idea of her not discovering something based on all of her prowess from previous jobs. But at the same time, here's the point. We learned that she's in it for the thrill, in it for the kicks. So perhaps she doesn't like to think things too far through.
Well, yeah, we see in the movie that she doesn't really think too far.
Yeah.
But also, Chris, just to further destroy your point, she is the only one of the crew who didn't even know who Lazar was. So if she saw his name, she wouldn't think anything
that
of
would have been funny. It was like, Lazar, oh yeah, that's the name I saw. I thought it was a funny name. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Who's called Christoph these days?
Stick that in your corn cob. Yeah. So got it.
I mean, it's an interesting question because, I would argue that there's a potential that if, in the circle of people, which is an interesting circle, is it better for Lazar to put his name on these buildings in the sense that, it's a house, right? So nothing nefarious goes on there. But no, but if his name instills fear, why wouldn't you just say that's my house? Or this is a house I have protected? Because anybody who's smart enough, or anybody who would try to rob from me would know to stay away, potentially, right?
Yeah, but
if he was actually living there, then maybe. But the goal of this is to kill the people who are doing the jobs.
This is the thing.
They would want their names as far away as possible,
because you know what happened to these people in the end result, right?
I don't think it's overthinking it. I think it makes sense.
No, it's if you're going to plan a murder of 6 people, you're going to not put your real name on the house where the
especially if your name is going to make them run away from your plan.
Because then the police will look into it.
How would the police look into it?
Why are you guys talking about the police even? He wanted to attract them, right? If they found out...
Well, he didn't want to do anything. It was his daughter.
Yeah, even worse. Why would she put his name there, right, on the house?
I'm just compositing in general as a crime lord. Would you care?
Oh,
right?
I mean, I'm sure...
yes, you might not put it on there because you want to be kidnapped and to murder everybody, but just
in other
general.
things, you should. Yeah, you should.
Anyways.
Listen, if you're a crime lord, you keep your name off the paperwork so you're not get tied to any crimes. That's just standard crime lording 101.
Where no crime happens and you want people to fuck off.
Yeah. You protect your real assets.
If it's a legal operation,
but
that can't, then you
flip
want to
side
tie
of
to
this is,
like Elon Musk and Twitter.
The same house being owned by the same person for 300 years is sort of a problem.
I mean,
if you want to hide,
we've gone too far. You're thinking too hard. This movie didn't apply that level of logic to itself.
That is fair.
It's been a fair conversation, but I don't think we need to apply any deeper than we already have.
We've reached a threshold.
We have reached a threshold, which you have to ask for permission to come in most vampire movies, but not this one, apparently. If you bring her over the threshold yourself, you're guilty, or it's her house, so she can come in the threshold.
It might be her house. That might be why.
I actually liked that, they try to use garlic and she picks up the garlic and sniffs it.
But it was, but I thought it was. So wait, no, they eliminated that it was onions, which was funny at first, and then they found.
Then she got the actual garlic. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when she stabbed Peter with the mini
get-
crucifix.
Yeah, that was funny.
She was
Like death by 1,000 cuts.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I get being stupid, but not knowing what it like.
If she's
garlic
like
is?
Mistaking
a
an
daddy's girl like
onion
Abigail,
for garlic.
Says she is, she probably never even gone into the actual kitchen to see what's going on there.
Probably comes from money.
I think you're underestimating how stupid Sammy was, like with general things.
Yeah, I think you're missing Sammy's intelligence level being very low. Very good at computers, nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm like that, except I don't have computer skills.
Speaking of computer skills, I think this is a good time for us to have our little segment we like to call Actually with Luciano. Hey, actually, Luciano, what did you think of the hacking?
Oh God. It's like, I don't know why I do this to myself every time, but every time there's code in movies, I pause to see what they show on the screen, and it's always some dumb shit. At least this time it wasn't just like an HTML page, like someone right clicked
Hello,
on
world.
a page and went like show source, and it's just a bunch of tags. But like nothing made sense. I don't know why they insist on going clickety clack, and like a billion windows open up on the screen. No. And also, I'm supposed to believe someone who doesn't know what a fucking onion is can hack something? Come on.
I mean, it's possible.
Don't you make my point back at me.
Don't you? How many programs require the knowledge of what an onion
do you
is?
really want me to get nerdy or not? Probably not.
This has been Actually with Luciano.
Yeah, okay.
We're out of here.
Onion DOS / RAM.
Oh God.
And brought to you by Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny. We have computers and we know what's happening now with computers. I think The Matrix did it best when it was just squiggly lines that melted down a
just
page.
like make it magic.
It's magic.
Yeah,
Genius.
Don't worry about it.
The
Ahead of
only
its
thing,
time.
the only like live action thing I've ever seen that did something this well was Mr. Robot. That was legit.
Yeah, you guys should watch The Net because talk about bad like coding and stuff. That movie's like the creation of the internet and all the tech. Even I know the tech in
The
that
Sandra
is like
Bullock
ridiculous
vehicle?
to someone
Yes.
with modern knowledge.
Yeah. Have you ever seen it?
Vehicle.
It's
It's
Yeah, I've seen it.
I mean, it doesn't age well
Bad.
no.
from a tech
You know when
standpoint.
you know when I found out it didn't age well as I was watching it.
yeah. It was dumb the moment it came out.
Yeah.
it's like the technology in that. It's like she's like, well, I have the internet in
No,
my
yeah,
pocket.
she literally
And I'm taking it.
uploads something to
You know,
the
it's like-
FBI just cause
I don't know.
from a disc or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Al Gore that said this, but I'm going to attribute it to him. Whatever senator said, the internet's a series of tubes, was more
George Bush.
accurate. Was it
George
Bush?
W. Bush.
That is more accurate than what the net portrayed.
Yes.
Prove to me it's
Yeah.
not a series of tubes.
The net is to movies in that sense what NCIS is to TV shows.
I think that's a fair assessment. And we're going to move back to Abigail,
Tubular.
the movie.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
That's what we're talking about. This movie, it was fun overall. I don't want to ruin my score for the end of the episode, but I think the movie, one of the best parts about the movie is it didn't really seem like there was any slow point. There was enough lull to make the next action sequence make sense or exciting, and people basically operated the way they would based on the characters they were showing. Like, yeah,
Great pacing.
I mean,
You know what? Also, on that point, the pacing is like, the scene where she like deduces everything.
Which
Joey.
Joey.
Okay.
Where Joey she's
yeah.
she's
I
like,
love
oh,
that
can
scene, by the way.
Yeah.
tell everything about you. I was like, this is a great way to do exposition, super quick in a cool way. And I was like, take note, Harvest
Yes.
Moon. I was like,
Harvest
this is
Harvest
how you
Moon.
can
What
have
do they do to
5
you?
characters, like 6 characters, like have like an info dump in a cool way that doesn't seem trite and
wouldn't
horribly
you
stupid.
want to see a 5-minute backstory of each person?
In slow motion,
In slow
like
motion.
we did in Harvest Moon.
It's the same story every time.
Okay,
Well, they all sit
Yeah.
on one side of the
I
table.
take that back. That sounds terribly excruciating.
Right?
Oh, you
Exactly.
didn't watch the second movie, right?
What second movie? Harvest Moon?
Yeah.
I
Did
don't.
you?
Oh, you call it Harvest Moon. You're talking about Rebel Moon. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch it in slow motion. I watched it in fucking 2x.
No, I mean, did you
And I
watch the
skipped
second movie?
scenes too.
Did you watch The Curse of Santana?
I did, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Chris, I'm sorry for your wasted time, but we need to move on from your poor choices.
At least we have an excuse because we watched it to do the podcast.
We did the podcast, and Chris was nowhere to be found. I just want to I don't know how else to talk about this. Like, obviously, all these characters made poor choices in their lives in the sense that, you know, that's the reason they're going to be killed by Abigail, or Abigail wants to kill them. But which one made the worst choice inside once they were trapped in the mansion?
That's a good question.
I mean,
Probably Dean.
I was gonna say Dean, but I'm gonna say Peter, because Peter. Well, so in his defense, he's dumb, but he willingly walked into an enclosed, inescapable area with someone who was bitten by a vampire.
Well, but he didn't know what was going to happen, right? The thing with Dean is,
Which is even worse.
They were concerned because they thought, you know, Lazar's. They didn't know about the vampire thing yet, but they were like, "Oh, Lazar has this killer who ripped off people's heads when they were hiding right before testifying against him." Blah blah blah. And he goes, "You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna venture into the bowels of this house alone."
classic.
That was not a very. I mean, he wasn't smart either. So,
But at that
he was
point,
also a
they didn't
fucking
know
dick,
there
so
was
I
any.
was glad he died.
There was no danger in the house at that point.
But they knew that they had kidnapped Lazar's daughter, or so they thought. So they thought he was going to come after them, right?
There was still danger because Dean
Yeah.
was decapitated by something.
I mean, they didn't know. They didn't know it was going to happen.
But what's it? Sammy getting bit happened well after Dean was killed. Danger.
Sure,
And
but
by
they,
that, go ahead.
but they talk about that, right? They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
she's like, "What's gonna happen?" They're like, they don't know. And before she goes off with Peter on the walk, she like sticks her arm in the sun, where they shine, or maybe is it the sun, or is it the
Sunlight?
Yeah, it's the sunlight.
Is it, I thought it was also like the seeing someone in a shiny reflective surface.
No,
right?
no, she put her arm in the sunlight.
The sunlight. Okay,
Yeah.
so she tries
Also-
to prove that she's not a vampire.
I love that scene, just as a side note, where she reflects the sunlight with the
yeah.
thing, and
And
I was like,
explodes
"Oh,
her.
it's gonna burn a little bit," and they explode. I'm like,
Fucking
oh my
immediately
God.
explodes.
Yeah,
That was like I was like, yes.
yeah,
Yes!
me too. Like in my head, I was like, "This makes no sense," but it was so cool.
Yeah. Split second reaction and
Yeah.
You were hoping for a
action
reflection.
and reaction.
Is that like the best death scene in the movie? Like that explosion? I think it's we just pick an explosion, obviously.
I think so.
Frank's death is
it's-
pretty gory and
Oh yeah,
ridiculous.
they amp up the amount of blood that Frank
But
has in
not
his body.
only is it like a full body, like he must have had like, I don't know, 25 liters of blood inside of him. And when the explosion is so strong that it pushes both of them away from
Right,
him into
yeah.
the corner, it's great.
I mean, that was great, but you got to give the shock value of the first explosion
True.
True,
Yes.
true.
really sends it over because you're just
Unexpected.
like whoa. Like I was
Especially
like,
from a reflection from a fucking silver tray.
Yes.
yeah, and they gave her a lot of like development where I was just like, I felt like they're gonna give her like an emotional death maybe, or like I'm like, oh
Sammy,
no,
you
is
mean?
she gonna die? Like yeah, because also she's like a bigger actress, so I was like, I didn't know what they were gonna do with her, and they're just like, kaboom.
I don't know if Quantum Mania qualifies her to be.
She
as a
starred
bigger
in the movie Freaky amongst other films. Okay,
That
But out of all four of
matter.
us, you seem to be the only one who knows about it.
Exactly.
I'm the only one who keeps up to date with pop culture.
Sure.
Matt, tell me everything she's in.
Who, Abigail?
No,
That's how forgettable your precious
No.
Catherine Newton
I'm sorry,
is.
I was looking up Melissa Barrera, who like was the lead of Scream, the new Scream remakes, if I'm not mistaken.
True.
She's in a bunch of like series, I think.
Oh,
Melissa Barrera, yeah.
Anyways,
cool. Yeah.
well, hold on. I'm just
In the
gonna prove
Heights
my
as well.
point to
you want me to
No,
tell
we're
you
not
who's
gonna
in this
wait
movie?
while you fucking
No,
Google
forget
shit.
Catherine
Googling.
Newton, who single-handedly sunk Quantumania. Anyways, go on.
She
It's
did
not-
not single-handedly
it's not her
sink that
fault.
movie. Oh
That
my
was
god.
Single-handedly.
That was a team effort, Chris.
That was yeah.
They sunk it together.
Single.
Her-
For the purpose
her-
of re-railing, I am blaming her completely. I'm placing the responsibility solely on her shoulders.
So okay, so let's ask you a different question then, so you can stop focusing on Sammy so much.
I'm
She was a-
done.
She was a
thank you.
Pokemon.
Don't want to hear it.
Spencer. We don't
Detective
care.
Pikachu.
Who do you think was the dumbest person on this crew inside the house?
Did you just?
Did
I
we
thought
just
Matt
answer
just said.
that?
I thought Matt said Caribbean for a moment, and I'm like, he
What?
did not say that.
I mean,
Carry
what?
on. Carry on.
You gotta go with the girl who thought that an onion was a garlic. I mean, I know she's good with computers.
Strong point. Strong argument.
I mean, I think that Peter comes off as dumb, but I don't think he's quite as dumb as. Like, what was the dumbest thing Peter did or said?
He opened the gate. He was ready to open the gate. The elevator gate.
Oh yeah, but that was like he thought it was his one chance to live. That was more just like a selfish act. But that wasn't that
Yes,
stupid per se.
I think we're defending Peter because he's simple dumb, and we care about him and want to protect him.
Yes.
But he couldn't remember his own name, or that his name was
yeah.
fake.
Yeah.
That's pretty dumb.
He's
Did he
dumb,
forget
but
his-
he's-
Did he forget his
he's
name?
He's an
That's
idiot,
not
but
his
he's
fault.
our idiot.
You know,
Yeah.
that's not. If he can't remember his name, that's not his fault.
He's our
He only has so much bandwidth.
he's our intermittent Quebecois.
Yeah.
He's pet a bunny a little too hard. Dumb.
Yeah. Oh, no!
Nice. A Lemmy
George!
reference.
Yeah, thank you.
Mice and Men.
Mice and Men reference. Thank
Yeah,
you.
nice.
We're cultured here.
We're cultured,
George.
Speaking of being cultured, let's culture ourselves into what they call plot holes.
Okay.
yeah. What? This movie didn't have any plot holes.
I mean, I only had one.
I mean, it didn't have a lot of plot holes. It was pretty
No,
fucking.
It was pretty tight. There's just one, and you'll see it's a bit of a gripe, not a plot hole, and it kind of morphs into a plot hole when we take it a certain direction. But let's start at the high level. The plot hole is the vampires that are shown in this movie. Vampires. Because it's not that they don't need to show us all the powers, but they make Abigail out to be this very powerful, frightening vampire. And then Lambert turns Frank, and Frank immediately eviscerates Giancarlo.
Yeah, I think it was the fastest I've seen. It's like, oh, I'm gonna turn into a vampire. Okay, 2 seconds later, kills the guy who turns him. I don't think I've ever seen that in a vampire movie.
It's a pretty quick
or
turnaround. That's
story.
just efficient.
Yeah, it was super efficient.
You know what they say when you kill a vampire, the number of vampires remains the same.
What?
They say that about murderers.
It's not,
Say when you
it's
murder
not how
somebody,
math
when you kill a murderer, the number of murderers remain the same.
works. Okay.
That did not translate.
It was a play.
clear.
It was a play on that.
What
Shut up!
kind of
You
fractured,
shut up!
What kind of fractured Sith arithmetic are you trying to use?
What I'm trying to, didn't he stab him in the back with a stake though?
I
Yes.
suppose.
That doesn't mean he's like weak. He just was stupid, I guess. Maybe he's the stupidest one in the house.
But that's the thing. Like, imagine, like, so Abigail obviously has, vampire strength, but like Frank can he almost kills her twice.
Yeah.
And she needed Joey's help to
strange.
kill her.
Well,
Very
that's
so weird.
no, it's not strange because
Why?
Ready? I'm going to explain it to you.
Oh, God.
Because even though she's a vampire and even though she's 100 years old, she still is the body of a child.
Incorrect, sir. She was able to free herself from that elevator, the metal elevator. She popped that off, and she's like,
I didn't say
"Psych,
she's
bitch."
not. I didn't say she's not super strong. So if you think about it this way, when you get turned into a vampire, your existing muscles become super muscles. But if you're a child, you still have less muscles. So if they're get the same amount of super muscles, the full-grown man will have more super muscles.
The views of Spencer do not reflect the views of the rest of us on this podcast.
Yes.
That makes so much sense, and anyone who disagrees with me is literally a monster and deserves to
But
be vampire
at the
killed.
same time, she's older. She's centuries older than
Yeah.
Frank, so she should have been marinating in increasing vampire strength. Shouldn't
Because
she?
No,
otherwise,
we
how
don't know
does
that.
the society work, right?
But
If
she's supposed to be getting
if
stronger.
if you turn someone who's stronger than you to turn around and kill you, like how does that work?
So how
Listen.
weak was Lambert?
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Pretty
Okay?
fucking weak.
Lambert was stabbed in the back. That's a sneak attack. That has nothing to do with strength. Okay.
Sure.
Secondly, my point stands. The longer you are as a vampire, not the more powerful strength wise, but the more skilled you are.
No,
with
she
your
says
abilities.
it. Literally, she says
Yeah.
The
it takes a
confusing
long
line.
time to learn the cool shit, which
To
means you
learn-
gain power.
You can learn how to
No,
do
no,
something.
no.
Take
You're
this with Jim Bro.
overruled.
No,
You're-
Jim Bro logic.
You're overruled.
You can learn how to do things right, but unless you have pure mass, you're not going to be able to have the power.
So the problem here, Spencer, is you're just applying your own internal sets of logic that you
I would like
want
to
to
cite
the movie.
Predator body mass
What?
logic. I'm sure
Kid,
body mass alone, that
proceed.
movie has power.
Proceed.
But the problem with this is that this is probably the plot hole because they don't set the rules up in a way that makes sense. Because part of the thing you have to do when you have this movie is people come with vampire baggage, like you have, like any of us that have played Vampire the Masquerade for their entire lives, like any of us
There's
who
nobody
who-
here like that.
Nobody here that would be that nerdy.
Can you call that a life?
It's
Oh my god.
it's
The
an-
only one I have, okay?
That's all I got.
It's all I've ever had.
But it's confusing still because they're like, as soon as they realize that Abigail is a vampire, they're freaking out in the foyer. They're like, "What do we know?" And then they ramble off all the things,
And
things.
none of
Strength
them
is
work
one of
except
them.
for Sun.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay,
they bring
right.
you in and they obviously are trying to set up your idea that not all the things work.
Yeah.
But it just seems like when you bring in Frank, it's even if you discount the idea that Frank is more powerful than Abigail, it still seems weird that he can instantly kill Giancarlo. And that kind of
Yeah.
really opens up the plot hole of
that
the
was
movie.
a sneak attack.
No, but like
But isn't
but-
there
but
still like
vampires
that
have
invisible barrier?
Yes.
Like the master cannot be killed by the
Usually,
newbie?
usually they do that exactly for that reason. It's like imagine if Abigail, turned Dwayne the Rock Johnson, like
Squish.
squish done.
So you're
right?
telling me that you think that if Abigail turned Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and then they
He
arm
shouldn't be
wrestled,
able to-
he shouldn't be able to beat her in an arm wrestle?
Of course not.
He shouldn't be able to touch her. Not
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the rules of vampirism.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about
Power, raw
sheer power.
Yes. She
Mano
should be
y mano.
magically stronger than
Spencer,
him.
you don't
because
know
he's
that.
like
I've
centuries old.
steered the conversation away from Abigail and Frank. I'm trying to talk about Lambert and Frank. If Spencer is correct that a child gets child strength, which that's a whole conversation.
It
super
doesn't
strength.
explain.
Sure. It
doesn't
doesn't explain
Lambert. Yeah.
And Spencer, you're gonna go trade on the idea that it was a sneak attack. But the thing is vampires have heightened everything. He
So
should
then
be able
Lambert
to
would have
turn
been
and
old,
prevent
would have had
this.
old man vampire strength.
like
He'd have old man vampire logic and ability and
Yeah.
You talking
skills.
about Christopher Lambert?
Yes, Christopher Giancarlo Esposito Lambert.
Lambert.
Villalobos.
Truly, you cannot stab me in the back.
Exactly.
I'm a vampire of unbelievable strength.
His self confidence is through the roof. Those Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins tapes really
They're
helped
paying
Christopher
off.
Lambert vampire out.
You cannot kill me unless you chop off my head. Oh no!
Oh,
which you
will fail.
Do you
You're
think you
drifting
can
a-
best me?
Spencer,
Correct.
Spencer, you're drifting a little
Dial it back.
towards Christoph Waltz.
Dial it back.
Oh no!
true.
I can't even do an accent of him. I mean, I can hear it. I can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come back to the Lambert light.
Yeah.
Come back. Come back. Come on.
Like it doesn't make any sense because it wouldn't like why are people so afraid? Like, yes, humans fine, but why would other vampires be afraid of Lazar? Like, why is Abigail working so hard to, I don't know, make him love her again? I guess that's why she does what she does.
Yeah.
Why didn't she just fucking kill him if it's so easy? Sneak
It
in and
opens
kill
up
him.
so many questions into how this operates. Because why wouldn't other vampires just kill other vampires ad nauseum?
And why would Lambert say, "Hey Frank, I'm gonna turn you, and then you and I can go kill Abigail"? Like it's like he's like, "I need 2 vampires to kill a vampire that old."
That's a
Right?
better point. That's a bingo.
And so
That's a gooder point because
Gooder
Abigail
point, yeah.
did. So do we know that Abigail created Lambert, or was it
Yeah,
was it
he
Lazar?
says so. He says so.
Okay.
so in that by that logic that makes more sense because if he needed him to help beat her, that means it's inferred that she is more powerful than Lambert at least.
Yeah, and by power scaling, Lambert was a vampire for at least for months, and
He
it
says
sounds like
2 years.
2 years. I thought it was months. Okay, so
Yeah.
after you reach the 2 year mark, at some point around that range, you're able to create more vampires. So who knows what else is left in terms of the at different tiers. Hence, long time to do cool
And
shit.
that's why this is a plot hole, right? Because she says with every word it takes a long time to learn the cool shit, but like being able to kill like a centuries old vampire apparently
Doesn't
is
take
something
that
you
much.
it comes out of the box, I guess.
Day one.
Yeah.
It is not cool shit being able to kill.
I see.
Now maybe we're just missing out on the good old fashioned natural ability. Maybe he's like the Michael Jordan of vampirism.
Vampirism.
You know?
of onboarded vampires.
Yeah, maybe Frank was just a natural gift.
I told you,
You know,
not to fuck with me,
to
and
be a
then I
vampire.
would know.
What's that?
Yeah, who was? I guess
Who
that
was that?
Frank and Brendan.
Don't worry about it.
Chris?
Chris.
Yeah,
Explain your work.
that's what he said.
I told you not to fuck with me.
That's right.
That's what your impression sounded like.
I'm a dude impersonating a dude who
Playing
was
another
disguised
dude.
as another
Another
dude.
dude. And you don't drop until commentaries.
Until the
what you're saying?
DVD commentary.
DVD commentary.
We should do that movie one day. But anyways,
we
Vampires.
vampires.
But I think that could
Can't
explain it, though.
understand it. I don't know. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I think Frank was a skilled cop, so he was already pretty abled in like combat and skilled. And
I thought you were gonna say he was a cop and a crooked one at that, so he was already a monster. So he
was-
Ooh, better point.
It was
like-
also okay. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that, Spencer, you bring up that Frank is a cop, and so he has cop trainings to make him a better fighter. It seems like Abigail's been doing this for a while.
A
and
while,
she would
yeah.
also have
Hunting.
got training and skills
Killing-
to not
killing
even let
people
Frank
protected
grab
by
her.
the FBI.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the first time Frank grabs her, he just kind of reaches out and grabs her, and it's just like,
No, he grabs her and he almost drinks her dry.
yeah, and it's just like, I feel like she would make an effort if she was as frail as you believe.
she has
Spencer.
experience killing humans, but experience fighting vampires. Is like
Frank has literally zero
Yeah.
experience fighting vampires.
No.
Yeah.
Let me just roll it back
because
a
by
little
your
bit, okay?
logic, he snuck attacked, and that doesn't count.
No, okay. So
Snuck attack.
Snuck attack.
Frank has
Brought to you
years
by
of,
Werther's. Yeah.
of experience of fighting people at his power level, other humans.
Sure, okay.
Right.
She only
his-
has experience.
with his fangs.
No, not
which
with
is
his
what he
fangs.
uses to fight her.
He's has years of training of grabbing and manhandling people on the force
I see.
of people
wow.
of his power level.
Yeah.
She only has experience fighting people at a much lower power level than her. So when they get to the first altercation, she's like, "Whoa, I've never fought someone who can actually physically
But
even
that's a
get close
big
to my level."
assumption. This is only one movie, and we have to work with what we've seen.
I wrote this movie, and this is canon.
Spencer, the problem is you've composited this set of ideas on a throne of lies because you said yourself that she is weaker than him, thereby he has no experience. He has experience fighting people the same strength as him, but
I've
she is
rescinded
weaker
the
than
weaker than him part. Once I was told that Christopher Lambert said that he couldn't match her on his own, it
Okay.
proved that she's more powerful than an adult male vampire. So I changed and twisted my point to be different because I can't be wrong.
So she's stronger than an adult male vampire. Is Frank not an adult male vampire?
No, he's an adult male cop vampire.
With training.
Frank is an adult male baby.
He has a policeman buff that gives him +10 against fellow vampires.
All right,
But
just-
Frank
children.
was on the take, that's a -37 to his power points.
No,
So
that's only a minus on his honor points. That doesn't
That's a
affect
minus
his
on
score.
his
Minus 50
DKP.
DKP.
Yeah.
Exactly. We get it.
But also he just could have rolled a natural 20 and just gotten a good
But what
roll.
guy are you using? Anyways.
D100.
dwarf.
Dwarf 100.
I don't know.
Let's patch up this hole of plot.
What hole?
How do,
What hole, he said pokedly.
Le sinkhole de Quebecois.
how do we resolve this so we don't have this issue at the end of the movie?
Right. So Abigail orchestrated all of this. So like this is my rebuttal. Abigail orchestrated all of this. She has her own authority and power in the societal structure of vampires. Okay. And her being a child
Our goal
her
to-
being a child means
Finish,
nothing
yep.
because she's amassed all this power and clout and resources
Okay.
and she's wielding it. And so
Okay.
her having the body of a 12-year-old child means nothing. If Spencer, you can argue that
You're still
she-
complaining, and Matt asked us to fix it.
What's
I
the
am.
solution?
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
the solution is that she is not a frail vampire waiting to be protected by her bodyguards. She can handle herself. This is the weirdness of the writing that we've been given. She's capable, and she did win in the end.
Can you
She was just
solve it
weakened.
in the context of the movie?
Let me
not
take
just-
this because
statement of
I
fact.
understand
I
the
have an
question.
idea too, but go
Unlike
ahead.
Matt.
Yeah. What?
I mean, unlike Chris. Sorry, Matt. I'm just used to attacking you. Here's the solution. It's a little twist on the ending. Okay, at the end.
Oh, we're fixing it.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
you're getting it.
It's been a while since we've done that.
So
Oh, we've started doing that since you haven't been here.
So
Okay.
what's his name? Frank agrees with Lampert that they will team up against her, and the girl runs away, so they don't kill her. When they're like, who cares? So they go to fight. The two of them fight Abigail, and they do beat her, but she like not escapes, but like seemingly dies, but she's not really dead. She's like on the ground, like all fucked up, and that's when Frank stabs Lambert in the back and kills him. So then he's like, I've won. Now I've used him to help me beat her, and now I'm last one. And then she gets up, and then you have the final fight that they have with, and the other girl shows up to save Abigail, the main character girl, and they team up because she saved her, and they beat Frank. And the
That's
ending
what
happens
happens
roughly, except the one small change that fixes the problem.
That they
Open
fight
your
to-
third
fight
eye,
together.
Chris.
Yeah, not the third eye. Open your ears.
Open your yeah.
But they did work together.
Also known as your
Damn.
third eye.
They did
No.
work together.
Yeah, but you're skipping the whole part where Lambert is still alive and fighting Abigail
Yeah,
with Frank first.
I didn't argue for Lambert.
Do we have
at all,
a?
but it's fine.
We need
Carry
a
on.
Chris decipher.
You
Carry
didn't
on.
argue it for it. Spencer did. You just didn't listen to it.
I don't listen to 75% things Spencer says anyway at
That is fair.
1.8
It's
speed.
fine.
Normally, I would say
someone's
that's a
got
good
to.
idea.
We are carrying on.
I pay attention when he does impressions.
Luciano, you had an idea?
Well, it was similar. Like, just make them actually fight her. But I was gonna say that something I find, this is not a plot hole, but it's something that felt a little forced, was the end when Abigail's like, "Oh, thank you. You're gonna be a good mom, and I love you." Like,
my
that was a little forced. I was thinking that it would have been more fun. Like, just go with what Spencer said, but then Abigail, during the fight when she gets back up and she's weak, but she then kills Frank with Joey's help. Maybe Joey gets mortally wounded, and Abigail has to turn her into a vampire. That's what I would.
What if Abigail turns her into a puppet, but then releases her when she's done because she was the only one that was nice to her.
That
in the
works.
house.
Yeah, that works. That
You
works
can
as
do
well.
that.
Yeah.
But why turn her
So-
into a puppet?
To help.
Because like when Sammy became a puppet, she got
For
like
the power boost?
she got like power
Yeah.
boost. Yeah.
Oh,
power
for the
boost.
power boost.
Yeah.
Okay. I see
They
that.
have power boost.
Yeah.
So
when-
if she did that, go
when
ahead.
they're like seemingly at their lowest odds, like when they're both about to die, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that would work. Yeah. I think that the problem was that it was like flip floppy what each vampire could do depending on how powerful. Like they became more or less powerful as the scene required.
Are you saying
Fixing
Lambert
that.
specced out like technology skills and she had no
Yeah.
fighting ability?
He put everything on brooding,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
I have created character cards for each of you,
yeah.
and I have surmised that Peter, you have the curse to Quebecois.
Oh no.
Spoilers.
But at the same time, in order for her, I'm fine with like Joey getting turned, right? But look at the amount of time it took for look at the transformation time that was required.
Yeah, that does create a bit of a
Something
problem.
would have had to have happened with I don't know. I suppose Abigail would have had to use a considerable amount of energy or strength to
Well,
punt him to
what could
create
have-
time.
what could have happened was when Lambert reveals that he is a vampire and he's like holding Joey by the neck, right? And he's trying to convince Frank to help him fight Abigail. He could have like bitten her to try and make her into a puppet later or something. Or maybe Abigail could have bitten her even before. Right?
So maybe
Something like that.
Lambert. Yeah, well, although
Spencer's brain
Lambert
broke.
turned Frank
Frank.
instantaneously.
No, but
Yeah,
he turned him into a vampire. That's because this is one of the things that actually
he made
follow.
him drink his blood.
yeah, he drank the blood
Got
back.
bitten
Yeah.
and drunk.
Yeah.
And drank.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm wondering if you can just somehow have Abigail taunt them by saying she turned Sammy when it was convenient to her, right? So you lay that groundwork of Sammy turned. It took Sammy that long to turn because Abigail just waited to turn her into a sleeper agent when she was ready for her.
Yeah, she activated her when she wanted.
Convenient, yeah.
Yeah.
So if they had done that, they could have that would have been an accelerant device to come back
Yeah.
later. I
'Cause
suppose with an older vampire, you can activate when
When she turned Sammy into a puppet, it seemed like she was actually a puppet. Like Abigail was mimicking what she needed to do, and she was doing it.
It's like she was a duplicate Abigail.
Yeah.
Almost.
It's almost like she was a puppet.
Publicate. Is that
As in,
right?
Hey,
I have a question on this
triplicate.
on the same point or the same kind of topic. When Frank was turned, did it turn Frank evil or was he always
think
bad?
it made
right
him
there.
worse, maybe. Like it potentialized the evil that was already there.
Like I thought,
Potentialized? That just means
Yeah.
it's still
Actualized.
potential. Actualized.
yes.
Well, no, I mean, made it more potent in that sense.
Oh.
like because he didn't seem evil throughout the movie, right? Am
No,
I
he
wrong?
seemed like a
He-
classic like crooked cop, right?
He bounced back and forth based on what was convenient for him as a crooked cop, right? Like
Like
he was like, when no one's leaving, we're doing the job. No one show her face. I can't believe you made me show her my face because I ran in there looking for information. I'm leaving. It's okay. We can definitely survive the night. It's
yeah,
fine.
he's a dick, but he's not like outright evil.
Because it seemed like they were like team, like when they were the last two to survive. It kind of gave me the vibe that they were going to be like the last. They were going to work together to get out of this situation. And then he gets turned, and I was like, and when he
I think
stabbed
that was
Lampert,
that was supposed to be like a twist, right?
Yes.
yeah, I mean it fooled me. But when he stabbed Lampert, I thought it was like he's like, even though he's a vampire, he's still going to be on her side.
You know
That's
it's
what I thought, too.
Lambert, right?
No, it's not
I think
anymore.
it's better this way. Lampert.
Spencer.
Lampert.
Spencer.
It's Spencer.
Lampert.
Spencer. Did
Spencer.
you even watch this movie?
I did, and it's forever Lampert.
Okay.
And he also has a first name we will not say here.
We've
We will not invoke
strayed.
his name.
We strayed so far from the light on this question of the plot hole that I think we're just drifting towards the fun questions section of this podcast. So why not dive into them?
Sounds good.
Let's start easy here. I think. What was the first dirty cop job that Frank did?
Kid mode.
You mean like the thing that turned him from being infiltrated to being an actual criminal?
Whatever made him want
What's
to
my
get
vote?
his,
I think he
his,
like
went dark side.
He went to McDonald's and he got his order, and they thought he'd paid, but he didn't, and he as he drove off, he realized it, like, just as he's driving away, and he's like, I should go back and pay.
So we're all dirty cops? Do you?
No.
I've never done that, but that sounds like a lot of fun.
I never did that on McDonald's.
So he like, yeah, like
At McDonald's.
as he's driving away, he's like, I should go back and pay, and then he's like, no, why shouldn't I keep it?
Yeah, no, he was like, I'm pretending to be a criminal now. A criminal wouldn't go back. This feels good.
This feels right.
Yeah.
Oh, because he was undercover at that point. Oh,
Yeah.
He
He was,
went-
he was an
he went-
undercover McDonald's customer. That was part of
Yeah.
his cover.
No, part of his cover was fetching McDonald's orders for Lazar.
So,
Clearly a McDonald's fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I think that's a good one. I was wondering if maybe he just played a lot of Grand Theft Auto. I was like, I made so
it's
much
my
money at
turn.
this.
I am
gonna
going
get
to do
mine.
this in real life.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean, we've all
that
done
would
it.
do it. That would do it.
All done what?
We've all done it. Yes.
We've all played Grand Theft
We've
Auto
all-
for 45
we've all
hours
gone
straight,
to Los Santos.
and then gone and murdered a hooker. Am I
we've
right,
all-
guys?
We've all in real
In
life.
a Lambo.
in a Lambo that we fucking lifted off the streets of LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That is-
it's called
That is my lifestyle.
it's called Los Santos, and the car's name is Infernus, not Diablo.
Hey.
That's what I told the
Respect.
lawyer.
Yeah,
Wait,
and I bought the ammo at Ammunition.
looks like Luciano was your lawyer. I don't know how you won that case.
I didn't
Car
steal a
fits, you
Lambo.
must have quit.
I stole an Infernus. And I didn't kill a hooker. I killed a professional prostitute.
And he used his pair phone to enter certain cheat codes to bring in to spawn some extra body armor.
Yeah, you
We've gone
can't
too
you can't
far.
arrest me. I pressed L1, L2, R1,
Yeah.
R2, left down.
My
left,
star
up,
rating
down.
is subterranean.
I'm gonna run
officer.
out of this courthouse now with my no clips console code.
Anyways, next question. Why do vampires explode when they die?
I personally think that in order to create the power of a vampire, their strength, their abilities, their heart has to run at a much more powerful rate, and it,
Sure.
it basically becomes like like an engine. But instead of burning,
Fuel that burns blood.
calories, it burns blood, but it like it actually literally burns it. Like not like in a human body where it burns calories. and
Blood
stuff.
combustion.
Like it's literally like an engine inside their hearts. That
Chris,
like-
first of all, it's combustion. Thank you very much.
combustion, and
Much appreciated.
their blood becomes like nitroglycerin.
I was gonna
Inside
say,
their
I think
skin.
it's more
Nitrous
that their
oxide or
blood
nitrous
is
glycerin?
it's
Well,
napalm.
glycerin makes sense.
It's napalm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do
So then when-
do
when
vampires have any
you-
fire abilities?
It's extremist, all right? That's where you're going. That's where you're headed.
Extremist from Iron Man 3?
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say. Exactly. It makes that's pretty apt actually.
Yep.
I was gonna say it's
Okay.
like dragons. Their blood is also highly
Stop.
explosive.
Now you're just getting further
Oh.
away.
Sorry, that was stupid.
Yeah, you're stupid. Luciano or Chris?
That makes no
Yeah.
sense.
I'll just leave.
You should. Luciano or Chris, you have a better answer?
You know when you have a juice box and you're really tempted to just like poke the straw through the hole and really get to consuming and enjoying that liquid refreshment, but you squeeze too hard sometimes and then the overflow takes place. Okay, well, in physics, when it comes to vampires, sunlight is your overpowered meat fist a la Dwayne The Rock Johnson
Okay.
over your kid-sized Sunny D box of juice.
Sunny D doesn't make boxes of juice.
But
Don't
then
worry about it.
It doesn't explode. It just comes off the top.
Yeah, if
Now,
their
if you
heads
squeeze it right,
if their heads popped
Jesus, how
open
are
and
you
it all came out
squeezing
the
your juice
top.
boxes?
Yeah, sounds like you're ripping it apart from the outside.
no, you squeeze it. It's been squeezed.
But they explode
Extremely.
outwardly.
Exactly. The juice explodes outwardly.
In Chris's defense, in the juice box scenario, because there's a pipeline, is the easiest place for all the juice, as he said, in physics. It's going to find the easiest way to explode.
In physics,
In
yeah.
physics.
In physics.
Now,
The
in
place-
physics,
the place of physics.
with a human body, it's essentially everything has the same tensile strength, the skin. So it all just kind of comes out everywhere all at the same time.
Because there's more than one
total explosion.
Right. And if you think about it, our skin has pores, millions and millions of tiny pores. And so
Those
at
are like
the
straws.
rate of much like a lot of
Like a
porous
straw hole.
straws, like a straw hole. But
What did
all
you
of that
call it?
force is being exerted thusly, simultaneously, everywhere. And so if you're killed, like you get staked through the heart or decapitated, which we didn't see,
No, it was just the sun and
the sun and heart puncture.
Abigail's hand explodes on the sun. Yeah,
Right.
Like a balloon
that's the
getting too
effect.
much air.
yeah.
Indeed.
I was,
Or a juice
that was
box.
that was gonna be no, not like a juice box.
Like a
Box
juice
at all.
box. Like a juice
jukes
box.
A jukebox.
Jukebox, yes. From Happy Days.
Hey, Chris,
Mm.
what did Abigail do to make her dad not love her?
Yeah. She screwed up. She went on a bender and consumed like four news anchors the night before her recital, and she made an ass of herself on stage the following night, which is why her focus on ballet is so intense, because she's trying to get that night right.
Wow, Chris, with an answer that makes sense.
What is this?
I'm lost.
I hate this.
Should I do the
Someone
crazy
say
one?
a funny thing.
Should I do the crazy one?
I said anchors, news anchors.
Yes.
I'll be Chris
That's
in this
funny to
scenario.
you?
I didn't tell you
I'll
what
be Chris.
network.
Woo!
PBS.
Yeah. She was
Yes.
she let her down because she took all her Werther's candy. And that
That's right.
Werther's candy is worth
He
its
ate
weight
too
in
many
gold.
buttermilk biscuits.
Too many. Threw off her glucose levels.
I was gonna say
She became a diabetic vampire. That's why her dad hates her.
Yeah, she's like, how do you fuck this up? Like, how did you fuck this up? Now we have to. Do you realize that now, like, for centuries, we have to be buying you insulin? What the fuck? How did you fuck this up?
That's more of a Chris answer.
did they have to do diabetic vampires have to eat diabetics?
Yes.
Or
Next question.
Would the blood sugar be too high in a regular person?
Yeah, they
Well,
have to. You can only feed from
It's like-
diabetics.
Too sweet.
But you got to eat the right kind of it, diabetic.
Yeah.
Like type B?
Yeah, the one that matches the opposite of the type you have.
That's so inconvenient.
Oh, I see.
There, it's very inconvenient. I think I'm fine with Chris's answer here.
The
And,
opposite type? You
and-
only
and
eat the
Chris's-
opposite type?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, that makes it better. Okay. That makes it counteracts
Spencer
A
is
counteracts B.
a little bit delayed.
A
It's
little
only
bit.
physics. It's only
internet
biology
is
and
slow.
physics.
I'm
His
just gonna
internet
say-
is slow. Just give him a break.
I'm just saying it's physics before every answer from now on. And I think that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
Okay.
You are correct.
We're consistent.
Right, let's just jump to a different question.
Please.
Keep
How
it
did-
going.
How did Peter get Le Curse de Québécois?
Ah, there it is. Well, in
Started-
physics,
Right, go. Yes.
the human tongue.
Yes.
I don't actually have an answer. How
I
does he
got
get
one.
the curse? Okay, you take it.
So, see, he was killing people in Montreal, right? And he was on a job. His task was to take out 4 news anchors. Okay, and so walk with me. So he killed 3, and it was all in the green room when they were gonna get ready to go on the air, but he managed to kill 3 and maim the 4th, and there was a lot of blood. The blood. And some blood ended up on some poutine in the green room. And he managed to kill all 4, but it takes a lot of energy. So he sees this now bloodied poutine tray of delicious curds and fries and gravy. And he's like, still smells good to me. And then he picks it up and he takes a big fucking bite. But you've soiled and spilled blood. And now that blood has been consumed. You've cursed yourself.
I disagree.
You
I
disagree?
I think the way he caught the La Casse de Québécois is he put the curds and the gravy before the fries when he made the poutine. And then Québécois just cursed him.
Okay.
Like, just the whole province of Quebec just
I'm gonna
here you go. Here it comes. Here it comes.
No.
I'm gonna correct my fucking pronunciation of the word.
No, you're doing fine. You're whatever.
It's poutine.
It's like your third language. It is poutine, but that's fine.
You're a poutine.
No.
Poutine.
That was
Say it, Frenchie.
Say it right. It's
Say it
chowder.
right.
It's
Chowder.
poutine.
Party.
I'll kill all of you, especially you in the jury.
I was gonna say is, if you ever got smoked poutine, whenever you got like their fancy, like I think they had like a Thanksgiving one, they would put the gravy and curds underneath the fries and put the fries,
and it's cursed. It's cursed.
Okay, thank you.
That's what I'm saying. It's cursed.
This explains his terrible Quebec accent.
He ate a poutine at Smokes. That's how he got there.
Well, if you're eating it at Smokes in general, that's not true Quebecois. They would never.
There you go. He caught the curse.
Never do that. You gotta go to
First of all,
Pro.
his accent, is it that bad? Let's take a listen.
Has been messing with us ever since we got here.
What was that?
That's his accent.
That was Irish. That was
Play it again,
almost.
play it again.
Can you do it again?
Has been messing with us ever since we got here.
What the fuck was that?
He's been messing with us ever since we got here.
Basically, he's got some gel.
Sounds like Conor McGregor.
They've been missing since we got
It's
here.
Conor McGregor. Yeah, it's Conor McGregor. That's what it is.
Good to have him back.
He'd have been at home in this movie. Let's be honest.
I genuinely did not
my
know
God.
he was supposed to be Quebec until they said he's from Quebec.
True.
You got to say it. That is a very terrible Quebecois accent. But
Yes.
so I assume he's cursed because anybody, like, it's like the curse, like he's sick some days, he's not sick other days. It's always inside of him, but when the disease comes out, it's hourly. And that's why sometimes he has a little bit of a French accent, and most times he just doesn't.
What do you mean when he says, "He's been trying to ever since we got here"?
Yeah, that was him preparing for another movie.
Like, you think that if he was like, "Wah," like throughout the movie, like they've been messing with us ever since we got here, bud.
Yeah.
Like they would
you go too far, Christopher Lambert, but yes.
everything's Christopher Lambert
that was-
inside.
It's the key to everything.
In physics,
Yes.
Christopher Lambert is the base of all language.
You know, he's the Rosetta Stone.
Wah.
The Lambert Stone.
Nice. The challenge is like he speaks English too much, clearly, because like I'm not sure a Quebecois person would even say they've been messing with us since we got here.
Yeah, no.
Like in general, right?
They'd
Like
be
I can't pick up the slang, but I feel like it would be like more.
He would throw a French curse word in there somewhere.
Yeah, I was just like
He'd say,
He should
"Suck
have.
my blood."
it's even like
What?
the cadence
What?
of
Suck my blood.
Suck my blood.
you know.
Suck my
Fair
blood.
Oh no!
I don't
Hey,
even
do
know.
me a favor and suck my blood.
I want to move off this.
I'm
so
from
bad.
Quebec.
This is a Quebecois from New York.
Yeah, this is the Quebec. That's what he did.
That's as good as Kevin Durant's accent was. It's fun.
I'm from Quebec
True.
City, motherfucker. Sucking my blood.
You get
I'm walking here, sucking my blood.
Who keeps ringing that bell? I can't concentrate on my poutine.
That is famously the Quebec City accent versus the Montreal accent.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Quebec City, baby. Don't you forget it. Suck my blood.
You take the L down to LaSalle, and then you switch over to the 42, and you go to Pursuard.
We're gonna get some of that poutine.
You know, poutine. Good.
Get some cheddar on my tatos.
That's right. Okay.
I have to put a bodega there somewhere.
Hey, yay! Tell Carlos I said bonjour, and then he owes me a fitty.
Put some cheese curds on my
poutine on the bodega.
I want some curds on my tatos, okay?
That's right.
I
Say
just
hello
want-
to your mother for me.
I just want everybody in this podcast to understand.
Your motherfucker.
I want you to understand these are very authentic Quebec City accents.
Yeah.
Two of
Wait.
us are married to women who grew up in Quebec, and one of us lived in Montreal for a year. So we have a lot of experience being in Quebec. Learning the nuances.
My soon-to-be ex-wife is from Quebec.
I've cut all ties to Quebec. I finally finished paying my Quebec taxes. God damn it.
Well, the Quebec City Mafia is coming for you.
Listen.
Kevin Durant's coming for you.
Hey.
Oh, Chris, you didn't play all your Quebec taxes.
I did.
I
did.
We're coming for you, Chris, and your
coming for
Quebec
you.
taxes. Suck on my blood.
You don't pay your tax, you're going to be sucking my blood. Tell you what.
I did pay them. I paid them. We set up a plan. I went into the office. Okay. I filled out all the forms. The T20 Poutin. And I paid them consecutively.
Listen,
Why
we're
is
gonna
that-
break.
why
We're gonna
is
break
that
your
actually-
genou. We're gonna break your genou. We're gonna
My
break.
genou, gabagool.
Okay, wait.
Full on. We've got full gabagool. We've got full gabagool. We gotta get out of here.
It's over.
You okay?
It's over.
That's our safe word.
You know.
I have a slightly different question to ask you guys. Which of these motherfuckers is trying to ice skate uphill?
Dean.
That's a good answer.
Show your work.
That's a
No,
good
no,
answer.
No, you know
Dean.
what? You're right. That's self-explanatory. I agree. Dean, out of all these motherfuckers, he's trying to ice skate uphill.
With Sammy?
Sammy was a close second. Yeah.
Sammy was close second because
Well, he's trying to ice skate uphill with Sammy. He was trying and trying and
I see.
did not
Did
make
not
any
work.
progress.
Yeah.
because Sammy, that motherfucker couldn't ice skate uphill as good as Dean.
Right.
No, Sammy was like on onions, and she was making progress.
Yeah.
And Dean was just
can't skate
failing.
uphill if you don't know what an onion is.
Dean, final answer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dean, fine
Anybody
answer.
else? Everybody's with Dean?
It's obviously Dean.
Okay. Chris is thinking, but I don't care. Great answer, everybody.
It's never a good
No,
sign
that's
when
fine.
Chris is thinking.
We're just gonna run it over.
Just double checking my notes.
The math is
Mental notes.
pretty.
Yeah, the math checks out.
Math checks it. Hey, why is Joey the real villain of this movie?
That's
Well, I mean, she did like dox everybody on that scene in the beginning.
I have a theory why.
Why?
I think that she was in on it the whole time. She was working with Abigail.
She was infiltrated.
Yeah.
I see.
So the first
Okay.
time she's there, she already knows. She makes it seem like she's like deducing their histories, but she just knew it because she planned it.
oh wow.
So she was trying to
Oh.
rattle them with that, and they're like, "How the fuck did she know that?"
It's like she's like trying to come off as cool, but she already knows everything.
Yeah. It was just like it was a trick. And then when she like tells them all to get out, she's like trying to bang down the door, knowing that the harder they bang on that door, that auto lock mechanism was gonna go. Because they could have gone out the window if they didn't bang on that door first, right?
Right.
It's when they banged on that gate that the doors all came down. So she knew that. So she was like, let's bang down this door. I don't know if she said that, but I'm going to assume she did.
Okay.
And then she purposely probably told Abigail to kill Rickles because he was like halfway competent.
Yeah. What coincidence? Like the second they leave their conversation, he dies when no one else is around, and she just survives. When Abigail must have been right there. Like, why
How
would she just kill?
convenient.
Why would she just kill Sammy there too? Or not Sammy? What's the main girl's name?
Joey.
Why wouldn't they just kill Joey there too?
Great job, Spencer.
Fuck, you know me and names, okay?
How much of this was like actually things that happened in the movie, and how much of it was just things you make up to figure?
No. The only
Joey's
thing
evil
I made
storyline?
up. The only thing I made up was I don't think she said knock that door down when they were like. I think Frank.
No,
Just-
Frank
just
was
like-
the one. Yeah.
He was like, "I'm going to do it," but she was like, "Let's go," and like, I think she was encouraging them to go out the front door, and knowing that they would try and break it down to lock down the house.
I think the house was locked down immediately because
No.
Viper was in the security place the whole time.
No, the house wasn't locked down. Them banging on the front door
Triggered the rest
triggered
of
all the windows to get locked.
the window shutters and stuff.
Yeah, like all the mechanized
I
windows.
I
missed that
don't
entirely.
think it was a cause of it.
Yeah, it
it
was.
happened right then.
It
No.
made whether it was a cause or a button push,
It happened right after.
there. Like in
Right.
that at that moment.
Anyways, I don't care.
So-
Answer funny.
I mean, This isn't even
Dance,
this is a
Wow.
good.
The power of comedy is compelling me. It's the curse to Quebecois. Salute.
Suck at my blood.
Lambert.
But yeah, I think that, and
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence. She's obviously the only one who survives, and the girl's really nice to her at the end.
Yeah, I think she was in on it. It's possible that like they were Abigail may have been trying to like increase her cabal, so to speak. Like Lambert was already on the vampire take, and didn't like being in that thrall.
I want to help steer you a little bit into the question, which was, how is Joey the real villain?
Right. She wanted to usurp Lambert's position to get more power and more money so she could send money to her son.
I think
more of
she
a
wanted
why.
more. I think she wanted more money to buy more morphine.
That's good too.
I like how Chris is like,
You're going to
Matt,
have enough.
Matt, I like how you said, how is she the real villain? And he's like, she wanted to provide for her son.
Yeah.
Good job. Really nailed it.
What a villain.
What a monster.
What a monster. Providing for her kids.
Maybe she was coked out. She was coked out the entire
there we
time.
go. Now we're talking.
Now we're back to Chris.
Coked out on that morphine. That
coked out on morphine?
Morphine
Coked out,
and
it's on
poutine.
coke.
Yeah, she snorted a whole lot of morphine.
She snorted
before.
and consumed.
She's morphed out, all right? It's fine.
She's morphed out.
It's Morbin time.
Yeah, she's not morphine. She's morphed out.
She's morbed out.
Morphed, that's great.
Yes. Yeah.
I think I need
It's
to...
a gateway drug.
We need to just... We did it, guys.
think that
Congratulations.
That was a solid answer on why she was evil. She was
did
in on
it.
it
No,
from
it
the
was
beginning,
great.
and
We
her
did.
end goal was ideally to replace Abigail, but
Hey, man,
that's in the
Spencer.
sequel.
I don't
Ooh.
care.
Take
I'm
the
trying
dub.
this
Take the
podcast.
dub. I'll take the dub.
He's running away with it.
Taking the
actually.
dub, and I'm running. I'm going.
Right. You can have this W, but you've been relegated to the second tier. That's really awkward.
No.
Yeah. Let's give ourselves some review scores on this movie and place it in the annals of all the other movies we watched to see where it ranks against it. For reminders for anybody who doesn't know, Chris, we use the S tier system. S is the highest. F is the lowest.
Sounds like you want me to freestyle this review
Put it anywhere on that range for the love of God.
with my
For the love of God.
my for the love of the of curse of Quebecois. That's what I'll do. Leveraging the ancient scrolls of do whatever the fuck I want. I don't recognize your scale, and I create my own. Anyways, I'm glad I watched this movie sped up.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Oh, I did.
Matt, can you just watch the movies and like at regular
Yeah,
speed?
yeah,
like
what's
our
wrong with
listeners
it?
are
Well,
supposed
listen.
to?
Time is a hell of a thing. And anyways, when you're sick and you're trying to be a part of the team,
Oh yeah, that's
and your
what
energy
helps.
is limited.
That's what helps.
Yeah.
You're sick and you watch it on like double speed. That's gonna make
Correct.
you understand.
It was
the movie.
1.8. I went from
glazed
1.
over.
I went 1.5, and then I was like, I could go a little faster.
Yeah, I can go a little faster.
I
My
picture-
coked up brain can deal with all of this
I
shit.
picture like Chris just
It's
like
Dayquil,
fucking,
sir.
just dripping from his mouth watching it like
It's like, faster.
no idea.
Faster.
It's just like
Faster.
No. I imagine him hopped up on Dayquil, watching this at 3.5 speed, and he going, "This movie makes no sense."
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Is the best thing I've ever seen. I could go faster.
Fucking hell! I'm not understanding anything. It must be the movie's fault.
Consuming buttermilk biscuits at the same time. Faster. Anyways,
So it's
I
a
wouldn't
C.
watch it.
Wait,
It's
what? Movie's over. Wait,
it's helpful for me when it comes to movies that are scary or gory, so that I like jump scares don't do anything for me when it's accelerated. So
oh yeah,
that's the best
Doesn't
way for me.
explain Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon is a different.
Listen, what's
I
your
would love
score?
to
What's
shit
your
on-
score?
That was a
My
3-hour
score?
jump scare right there.
I know, and I with skips. I skipped scenes, and it was still hurting me. Anyways,
Hey,
yeah,
Answer this question,
Abigail. I want to give it a B, but I don't want to watch it again, and so it should be a C.
All right.
Did you watch it at 3 times speed?
I've already seen it.
That's double
so
the
I
movie.
don't.
Wait,
That's
what?
double the movie.
that's
That's
double
double
the
the
not
pain.
how math works.
That's double the
Actually,
That's double
three
the movie
times
at half
speed
the
Rebel
time.
Moon is triple the pain, and this movie it wasn't painful, but anyways,
If you
it was
were to watch
good enough.
Abigail at 1 time speed, aka a different movie, would that change your opinion?
What the fuck? Your back is with like another movie?
No, if you slow it down to a regular speed, you might watch a different movie.
Nah, it'll be the same.
Fair enough. Moving
It'll be the
on.
same.
No one
If
wants to be
you-
here anymore.
You watched
What?
Citizen Kane at 4 speed. What grade would you give Abigail? That's the question.
I watched Citizen Kane at X speed because it's worth it.
And
Okay.
that's 10 times speed based on my math.
1x.
You said X. Moving on, Luciano.
It's my equation.
What are you giving Abigail?
Okay.
And what,
I,
what time speed did you watch it at?
I watched this at variable speeds throughout.
See?
Yeah,
Smart play.
Faster.
At some points, it was paused. Even
Whoa.
I enjoyed this movie. I knew it was gonna be dumb, and it was dumb. The plot hole doesn't really matter much. It's just like the whole plot and the whole thing is just a vehicle for the gore and the fun. I also knew it was not going to be scary in any way, and it wasn't. It was dumb fun. I think I would watch it again, but I would have to be like in a very specific mood to watch it again. So I will too give it a C.
C.
2 cc's of faster.
Spencer?
Fuck you.
What speed did you watch it at?
I watched this movie at regular speed because I'm a regular human with a regular brain.
Those are all lies.
That sentence was 66% false. I did watch it at regular speed.
I think you just proved his point.
Let me finish. I enjoy, like, first of all, in physics, films go from start to finish.
Smart.
But I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was fun. I didn't know anything really about it. I actually thought maybe it was like a more of a horror movie. So I was pleasant. I'm not a huge horror guy. I was pleasantly surprised by the vibe. It was like fun and funny, and the action and like the gore was great. It's like my kind of like monster movie. Yeah, it was good. It was like well executed, and I feel like it succeeded in doing exactly what it was trying to do. You know, which is not make Citizen Kane at 10x speed, but also not, make fucking Morbius. Like it was a good movie. It was fun.
Yeah.
So I give this movie as high as a movie like this can be, in my opinion, which is a B. Like I don't think this kind of movie can even be an A or an S. But
that's fair.
I give it a solid B. It was enjoyable. This whole like rating it based on whether you rewatch it. I don't rewatch anything anymore. So
Yeah.
Kids? I don't either. It's just a matter of I would
like
or not.
would I if I had unlimited time and not like other movies and TV shows that I haven't seen and want to, then maybe, yeah, probably. It's a fun vibe.
Would you say this movie was the Citizen Kane of vampire movies?
No.
Hey, man.
In physics,
This is not what we do here.
technically,
In physics, no.
It's just one question.
in physics, no.
Okay.
Thank you, Spencer. I enjoyed this movie. It was fun. It wasn't scary at all. It's just an action. It's like a goth action movie, if anything.
Yeah.
So it was fun. It was a fun time. I appreciate it. It was quick. It was simple. I'm enjoying more stories that happen in sort of almost real time. I enjoy a lot more. I think
Yeah, me
there's
too.
less room for people to fuck up timelines, and then you end up with like, I think I was listening to a podcast where they talk about the Batman, a movie we watched and talked about, I think, in the old podcast.
Yeah.
I liked the movie, but holy fuck, man, why are we spending 3 hours of watching him ride a motorcycle everywhere? And so this movie is just like point to point to point to point, to murder to death to
Yeah.
death to, twist here, climax, we're out.
I like bubble
And-
movies too, where it's like all one
Yeah.
setting. Those are fun
And so, like,
too.
for me, I would put that at a C. I think the reason why it's not higher is just like this tone of like the movie itself was good, but I don't really watch these goth action flicks as I'm calling them. And so I don't know if I would come back to rewatch it. It like as Spencer said, if I had time, nah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't come back. And not that it wasn't a fun movie. If someone says I'm going to watch it, I'd be all four of them watching it. It's just
What's this
not for
type of
me.
movie called? Like, it's not a horror movie. It's like a monster. Like, what's another movie that's
thriller?
like this? Like,
Yeah,
it's
like a
it feels
fun, like a horror
monster movie.
horror comedy or something like that. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
a comedy. It was funny to
Like a
me.
I'm trying
like a
to think of
Shia
other
LaBeouf
movies.
Disturbia.
I don't. That's not a terrible analogy. That's like a. It's like a. I think it's like an introductory to horror kind of movie. It's like it's
Right,
like a
yeah,
light
yeah.
version of something like that. You know.
Shallow End.
I went to the Los Angeles Film School's website, and they have subgenres of horror. So
okay.
let me tell you the ones they have listed, and maybe we can put it in there. We have demonic, paranormal, monster, slasher, zombie, comedic, psychological, vampire, witchcraft, and gore.
Well, it's obviously vampire.
Comedic vampire horror, I would say.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you also say slapstick?
Slasher.
Okay. No.
But it's not like a full comedy movie either. Like, you know, it's not like
Yeah.
fucking
It was funny.
like Killer Bong, which is a real movie.
But I agree. Like there's-
Killer Bong.
these movies have a ceiling,
Yes.
right? There's no way a movie like this can be an ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like I just want to see more. If you did another one you called Abigail and it was a werewolf, great, sign me up.
Yeah, like this is like kind of like reminds me of like a Cabin in the Woods kind of.
Yeah,
Well, that movie's like
yeah.
a much higher concept,
go-
you know.
You go to the fucking one animal who's associated with a vampire, and you say it's a werewolf movie.
Like
Nice.
this
Well
is a vampire movie the way Zombieland is a zombie movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Anyways,
So,
see, I enjoyed the movie. Good times had by all. Next week, we are going to watch a very special movie, a movie that did so well at the box office that it streaked immediately into the
It was
streaming.
rushed to streaming
They rushed it to streaming.
due to popular demand.
Oh,
due to popular demand.
we demanded
Put some
it.
respect on that movie.
I mean, we could. It is 2024's Fall Guy. For now.
Aaron Taylor
Awesome.
Johnson vehicle.
Oh, he is in that.
Is
Yeah,
he in that?
yeah. He's
that.
He's the main. he's the leading.
Oh,
guy.
the actor.
he's the lead actor. Yeah, in the movie.
Cool.
Other
The Lee
options.
Majors vehicle.
We can go Ben Knight. We can go. Don't worry about it. We can go with Iona Salua,
Mhm.
You pick your-
Matuz.
I leave it to
Let's
your
watch it. Let's
creative
watch it.
Emily
We'll figure it out.
Blunt.
It's a
Yeah,
2024 vehicle.
2024 vehicle. It is an action movie. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna talk about it. How bad can it be?
I mean,
Well,
I
we're
liked
gonna
it.
find out next week,
yeah.
or whenever the fuck we decide to watch it and record another episode
Wow. Hey man, we had good reasons for being away. Act like it never happened.
I'm
We're
going to watch it at
professionals.
4x speed with Quebecois audio
Putain.
of
redubbing.
this. I will watch it at half speed while eating
Really?
Montreal smoked meat poutine.
Right.
Oh, what are you, some kind of fall guy? Oh, welcome to my